From Reuters, UK police find no evidence of offences in Mormon event threat probe. Yeah, Mormon. I just have to leave it to you to read the screen. You know what I'm talking about, and you know why I can't talk about it. Anyway, it's Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Sunday is the Angry Bootneck's favourite day for gloating. Yeah, gloating. Because what did I say 5 days ago? Do you remember? I'll tell you what. I'll just show you. And then it finishes with a major incident was declared, even though there definitely wasn't a major incident because everyone was arrested in their own house. How was it a major incident? If I was wearing my dressing gown and I had my hand on my cock on my own sofa, how is it a major incident when I get arrested? How? You're in a cell for 7 days because that's how it works in Airstrip 1. And then it finishes with a major incident was declared, even though there definitely wasn't a major incident because everyone was arrested in their own house. How was it a major incident? If I was wearing my dressing gown and I had my hand on my cock on my own sofa, how is it a major incident when I get arrested? How? A major incident is Arnold going through the police station with a pump-action shotgun. That's a major incident. An 82-year-old man being pushed into his kitchen by his care worker and then getting arrested isn't a major incident. Thanks very much. And then we've got more on this story. Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks. 12 arrested, despite none of them being at the event. Alleged threat leaves village reeling. Reeling? Did one of them blow himself up in a post office? No, he didn't. He just got arrested in his underpants in his own front room. And Mormon event ended after possible threat. Possible. So there we go. I think we're done for the day, aren't we? I think we're done for the day, lads. That is the biggest pile of bollocks I've ever had the misfortune to read. There you go. Vindication, 100% correct, as always. Don't wish to sound smug about it. I mean, it's not particularly clever, is it? You live on Airstrip 1. Your government lies to you constantly. Your coppers and your judges are political activists enforcing George's will all across the nation. So you don't have to be very astute to know exactly what's going on. But there we go. Although I have to show you this because it'll make you laugh. No charges at all. There wasn't a serious threat. Reuters have pointed it out. I'll put a link down there if you want to read the whole story. However, Sly News did try the best to run a little puff piece for the government, because look what the headline was on Sly News as opposed to Reuters. Counter-terror police investigating threat to the Mormon event charge a man with weapons offences. The 42-year-old was charged with 3 offences after he was among 12 people arrested in connection with the investigation on July 12th and 13th. Yeah, so they've done the level best to try and gin up some false charges to at least attempt to make a tenuous link between middle-aged blokes and women and 82-year-olds and actual terror atrocities, which, as we all know, is farcical. There is a bit more detail, but I mean, they're not going to tell you the facts. It's probably going to be something like, he's like many people. Basically, just like the Spanish Inquisition, it's like I've told you, it's what it's like when you live in an authoritarian country. It's find me the man and I'll find you the crime. If they went in to any house in Britain, they would be able to come up with some charges. If they would tear your entire house apart, like Dominic Cummings said they were going to do to Farage, and they did. They'd tear your house apart and they'd go, oh yeah, oh look, he's got a downloaded film on his computer here. Piracy, theft, there's 6 charges we can come with. Oh, what's this? He's got a steak knife. But it was near his bed because, you know, he's worried about getting burgled. Okay, weapons charges. Well, what's this? He's got a ceremonial Japanese samurai sword on his wall. Yeah, we're having that. Terror charges. Like, this is so painfully obvious what they're doing. They held people. I mean, it's an affront to the dignity of English people who know their own nation's proud history. They held middle-aged men and pensioners and women without charges in police custody for a week. And the most they come up with for all 12 of them was one 42-year-old man being charged with weapons offences. He probably had a crossbow or something. And let me tell you, if I was still unfortunate enough to be living in the UK, I would get my hands on whatever legal weaponry I could. I've told you a lot this before. You need to protect yourself as best you can in the authoritarian superstate. So Google it, know the law, do your research, and then whatever legal weaponry you can get lots of it. So you can't criticise a guy for getting charged for weapons offences. He might have had a bow and arrow, pepper spray, whatever. And you can't blame anyone for having that because you live in a lawless society where there's millions and millions of Marleys running about with machetes and meat cleavers. Can you blame anyone for wanting to have weapons in the house? That doesn't make you a terrorist. That means you've got a fully functioning brain. The story says the 42-year-old's not been named and was charged with 3 offences after he was among 12 arrested. 4 of them were released on bail. 8 were detained under Section 41 of the ridiculous. We all know they aren't killers. So they were held for 7 days, totally abusing the powers that were given to them after the atrocities of 9/11 and 7/7, carried out not by God-fearing Englishmen, but by devout followers of a different ideology than that wishy-washy shite espoused by the Church of England. And 7 of those were released from custody without charge, while another 1 was freed on bail pending further inquiries. So they'll get out on him either. Commander Helen, yeah, DEI, she's probably a dwarf, yeah. Couldn't knock the fluff off a cappuccino, Helen. She's somehow a commander in the police, yeah. I'd fold her up like a deck chair. If you could clone Helen Flanagan and send 100 of them at me, like Neo on The Matrix when, or is it the sequel, where he fights about 500 Agent Smiths. 6,000 Helens could attack me with batons and they would not be able to take me down. Again, the old fleshy mace had just have to come out and I'd win that one. Long-time viewers know the weapon of choice I'm talking about there. She said, since then we've made extensive inquiries, but at this time we have found no evidence to support anyone being charged with any offences linked to the threat. There you go. So in fact, no, let's get rid of Sly News' lies. That's much better. Much better. 0 evidence anything even remotely related to do with an atrocity. So what was this? It was a farce, perpetuated by the authoritarian British state, locking up innocent people for a week who didn't deserve it because they wanted to distract from Ann Widecombe's horrific murder at the hands of a left-wing extremist, promoted because of left-wing politicians like Jess Phillips going on television, David Lammy, calling them worse than Adolf, calling them, what was the quote that she used? Fascist beasts. She called her a beast, didn't she? That sounds terribly like incitement to violence to me, but apparently if you're left-wing, you're allowed to do it, right? So what they'll do is they'll watch this video and they'll say, ooh, Bootneck made a humorous quip at 7 minutes and 33. That's incitement to violence. But going on television and saying Widecombe is a fascist beast, that's not. That's totally fine. Because Sheep Teeth Phillips has got the right political opinions, and that's fine. Totally fine. Anyway, that's me for the day. Nice bit of vindication to wrap up my weekend. I hope you all had a good one as well in Airstrip 1. Again, take my advice, ladies and gents, it's going to get much, much, much worse. Buy a first aid kit, stockpile rations and water, add about 6 locks to every door and window in your house, and get some legal weaponry. There's no other advice I can give you, or emigrate if you possibly can. But if you can't do that, do the rest of it. And remember, cherry on top, cast iron padlockable knickers for the wife and kids, all right? Keep your chins up, keep your stiff upper lip, and remember to keep your sense of humour, because you're going to need it. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Toodle pip. Cheers.